Why are you always trying to substitute with the biggest vocabulary word? You think this is just a synonym game? You think that we're here to paraphrase and just use bigger vocabulary words? Is that the only strategy that you have to improve? That's pathetic. Aaron at speaking26.com. It's really awful that so many of you guys think that the way to score higher is to use bigger words. This week, I had two different people communicate to me the same idea. And I've heard this many times before. I know many of you listening to this are going to understand what I'm talking about, including all of you teachers listening to this who are learning from me. You guys think it's like the only thing that you think about to score higher is to use bigger words. One person said it this way: is my language too simple? Is my language not advanced? And the way that it manifested with another person was them stuttering and hesitating. Like, they usually don't stutter, they usually don't hesitate. Their skills are usually better than that. I like it when I usually get to hear their speaking skills that are not stuttering. And I'm not criticizing the stutter. I'm saying I showed them and they agreed with me. The stutter that usually doesn't happen, the hesitation and pause that happened that usually doesn't happen, came because they were putting too much of an emphasis on using big vocabulary words. All of you listening to this, it's so sad that you think you're supposed. Do you think that I'm always trying to use my biggest words? Or here, I don't want to, let's remove me from this. I have a question for you. Who do you think, who is a good speaker that you want to speak like? Can you think of one or two or three people? Who are good speakers that you are modeling so that you can get your 26 on speaking? You can choose. I want you to think about this right now. Can you think of one or two people that you think are good speakers? Are you currently practicing using the spoken words of somebody? Okay, whoever you think one or two people are that are good speakers that you should listen to and that you should emulate, whoever you think good speakers are, do you think that person or those people, do you think that they are always trying to use their biggest words? You know that they're not. But then why is that what you're doing on your speaking answers? Why are you always trying to substitute with the biggest vocabulary word? You think this is just a synonym game? You think that we're here to paraphrase and just use bigger vocabulary words? Is that the only strategy that you have to improve? That's pathetic. You need to think about that the next time you're listening to somebody speak and you think their speaking will help me to get a higher score. Ask yourself, is this person always just using their biggest words? This is a pathetic way to think of language improvement. It's a non-mature way of thinking about it. If you had unlimited time, if you had unlimited energy, then maybe it would be a good idea to first try to learn and then to try to be smooth with using all of the biggest words in English. But since you and I do not have unlimited time or unlimited energy, you need to be working closer to the zone of your confidence. Yes, you should slightly be increasing that, but you guys listening to this, most of you are not going for slight improvements. You are instead overreaching, trying to use impressive vocabulary words. And the problem with that is you cause yourself to hesitate, stutter, and lose confidence. Your unnaturalness as you overreach for big words means that number one, you start forcing words that are not accurate. And then number two, you unsmoothly deliver them. And then number three, internally, that gets your confidence to temporarily, at least temporarily, be lowered because you know you said something in an unsmooth way. You're capable of delivering it much more smoother than that. And number two, you're not exactly sure if that word fits as well as the easier, simpler word you could have used.
Disclaimer. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and is presented at the individual's own risk. It is not intended to defame any entity or individual. Aaron and his guests make no representations or warranties of any kind, either express or implied, regarding the completeness or suitability of the information. The views expressed by Aaron and his guests are not affiliated with, approved by, or endorsed by any entity or organization, including, but not limited to, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, the Test of English as a Foreign Language, TOEFL, and Educational Testing Service, ETS.
I have showed the most amount of people passing, getting 26 on TOEFL speaking than anybody else has. And when I say show, I mean real people like you can see and hear Michelle here, not just a post that may be real or not, but a person that you can see and hear. The speaking templates are wrong. Because to get 26 on speaking, and when you see somebody who did get 26 on speaking or above, and they tell you they use the speaking template, they did not get 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking because of the speaking template. No, they got 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking in spite of the limiting nature of the speaking template. They got 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking because their speaking fluency was so good, is so good, that it was able to overcome the limiting structure that is speaking templates.
I never got 26 using AI website.
Okay, but you did on the real test after meetings with me.
Yeah.
If you want to see more videos with people giving you their best advice on how they got their 26 on TOEFL IBT speaking, you can watch that YouTube playlist. It's connected to this video, and you can find it by searching for TOEFL IBT Speaking 26. You can also find it by going through speaking26.com. These are people who before were not getting 26 on TOEFL speaking and after did get 26 and pass their tests. I asked them, hey, can you give your best advice to people who are still taking the test? How did you go from not passing to passing?
When I read about the TOEFL exam, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, okay, straightforward thing. It's an English exam. How difficult can it be?
The pharmacy board needs specifically 26 in speaking.
I used to change the template. Maybe this is more advanced, so I will use this the next exam, and I try to practice this for maybe a month or two to be able to master it, to say it without thinking. Every time I found myself getting maybe less score or the same score. It doesn't make any difference to just change the templates and use different introductory words. It didn't make any difference for me. Some of my friends advised me to start taking sessions with you.
This helped me in passing my TOEFL exam. Aaron helped me to pass and get 26.
Aaron, actually, any words will not be enough. But really, I'm very thankful.
26 in speaking, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited to get to the next step in my pharmacist license.
Look at my accent, look at people who got 26. So just surround yourself with people who motivate you.
Look, I passed. That bit that's missing is probably the most important bit to get you to 26.
Yes.
And that's the bit where Aaron, I felt, helped me realize where I was going wrong. And that bit where I was going wrong, I think it goes for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you speak English is your first language or not. That bit that was missing is something everyone really needs to understand in order to get that 26.
Once you are in the level that you need to become advanced in order to get the 26, you need to get rid of the templates.
Template will hinder your ability to deliver the question, because it shows that you are reading something or you are not speaking, you are reading.
I was using completely different template or different way. I started to apply your way, and once I started to practice your way, it's easy for me.
That was really good for me. It really helped me because with this in my mind, I could speak faster, and because I was confident
it's challenging, but you know, after you pass it, the feeling of victory, it's worth it.
As English is my first language, I thought the speaking templates would be enough to get me the 26 that I needed. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I only scored a 23. Your lack of getting 26 is not due to your speaking ability. It has been due to your less than optimal strategy. Get rid of the training wheels.
The templates were like, oh my God, why did they create those templates?
Aaron, you are a big helpful for students like us. We need somebody to like stir revolution in our heart inside, give life to our conversation. And this will never happen through other sites like they have exact traditional pattern, the template, first, second, for example. Don't say, for example, the second time, for instance. Really? And like robot, I felt myself without life. I don't have the freedom to speak.
You don't have to worry that much about how can I mention 2 reasons with 2 details or 2 examples. It's too much for me. You help students to increase their fluency.
Instead of following that speaking template or any other speaking template, trust your fluency.
For the students who are taking with you, trust this guy. He's amazing. He will shift or improve your level as soon as possible.
Like just jump my score from 23 to 26, like this. How many hours I took with you? 5. Look at this. 5 hours in 2 weeks. I passed my test.
I was surprised that I passed after 5 sessions together.
I hope you keep inspiring and helping more pharmacists and more other students to achieve their goal and become a professional here in the United States.
If I had just, found you earlier.
For people who's really, they have concern and they need to do it very fast, go to the original, the source of help.
Go to Aaron. He's the guy. He was the guy for me. And hopefully he's the guy for you. And he'll set you straight. He'll tell you what you need to do to get that 26